26th meeting of the Board of County Commissioners. Thank you for being here this afternoon. If you're looking at the podium, you'll notice that I'm sitting here alone. However, I'm not alone. Commissioner Burney and Commissioner Book are in attendance on the phone, and Commissioner Book, Vice Chair Book, has asked me to chair the meeting in her absence. Commissioner Sorensen and Bozievich are excused. So moving along with the agenda, we'll move to item 11 on the agenda, Public Works. We have a third reading and deliberations on ordinance number PA 1366 in the matter of amending the Rural Comprehensive Plan to redesignate land from rural residential to rural commercial, to rezone land from rural residential RR5 to rural commercial RC, and adopting savings and severability clauses, file number 509 PA 1705144. Etc. Thank you. And I will state that we'll have a deliberation and accept the third reading today, presumably, and move further deliberation to March 13th when the time's appropriate. Mr. Clark.
Yes, that's the recommendation. The land management crew is not in today, so I'm sitting in for them. They're out at their shop in Delta. But the recommendation for this one was to request a move for a fourth reading on March 13th in order to have deliberation with all of the commissioners here, as many as possible. What was I going to say? This was a sort of a continuation of the discussion that started last time we were here, and there was some interest in the commissioners in sort of sorting through the issues sort of relative to the quasi-judicial process and a discussion of the standards and whether or not they're met. And so we wanted to have a thorough discussion with the board. And so, yeah, that's the recommendation from staff, is to move this forward for a fourth reading, if we can get that motion.
Thank you, Mr. Clark. And when the time comes, shall we designate a time certain on that of 1:30?
It doesn't need to be a time certain, just a date is all.
Which is March 13th.
Correct.
Right on. Then at this point, I will open the public hearing.
No,
I'm sorry, no.
That's the next
first.
one, yeah.
Thank you. I don't have my protocol in front of me. So we have a staff presentation. Today is a snow day. Much of the county is closed. I have not heard, but I do believe that staff is probably not going to be present for this meeting. Have you heard?
That's correct, yes.
Okay, very good. Then barring a staff presentation, Mr. Clark.
Yeah, so for this particular one, PA 1366, we had the hearing, opened and closed it, and we're scheduled to have deliberations today due to the problems with folks getting in here and having the full board present. The recommendation, as I say, is to move today's reading and set a fourth reading and deliberation for March 13th.
Then I'm corrected. There will be no public hearing, which I will not open. So at this point, any discussion from the commission? I hear none. Do I have a motion? The motion would be to accept the third reading on ordinance PA 1366 and move a fourth reading for March 13th, no time certain.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Burney.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Burney, seconded by Commissioner Book. Discussion to the motion? I hear none. I'll call for the vote. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Passes 3-0 with Commissioners Bozievich and Sorensen excused. Then we'll move along to item 11B, excuse me, a public hearing on order 1902-2605 in the matter of hearing on the record an appeal of a hearings official decision affirming the planning director's decision to approve a replacement dwelling in the exclusive farm use zone E40 on tax lot 1400, assessors map 20-05-13, etc. Mr. Clark.
Thank you. Again, sitting in for land management staff on this one. This was a standard permit and appeal. Typically these days the board would conduct approve an order which would affirm the hearings official decision in a request not to hear. In this case, staff felt it was important for the board to actually go ahead and schedule a hearing to discuss whether or not the correct approval standard was applied and cited down below. And I believe the board ordered that. They did order that last time. So today was to be a public hearing. Again, the recommendation is to continue this matter forward so we can have a fuller discussion and maybe folks have a chance to make the hearing. But what we need today, if approved, is to open the hearing and then continue the hearing for the same date, March 13. That would need to be a time certain, so the request is for continue the hearing today till March 13 at 1:30 p.m.
Perfect. So then procedurally, I will open the public hearing subsequent to this, and then we will continue the public hearing on March 13th at 1:30.
Yes.
Very good. Discussion from the board before I open the public hearing. I hear none, then I will open the public hearing on Order 190226-05. And I will call, is there anyone in the audience wishing to address the Board of County Commissioners on this item? I see no one. Discussion from the board? Then hearing no discussion, Mr. Clark, I will move this, roll this agenda item to March 13th at 1:30 with the public hearing remaining open.
Right. Yep.
Very good. Then we'll move along to a review of assignments. Mr. Rickoff, we're getting through this fast. I should be the chair more often. Does everybody agree?
By acclamation. Chair Farr, Commissioners, excuse my sense of humor there. I have a few assignments, and I will likely need your help with this.
Mr. Rickoff?
Yes, Ms. Jones.
Sorry to interrupt. Mr. Clark, do we not need a motion to move that item?
I was thinking that we may as well, if we want to have board members make a motion and an order to roll that hearing, or I'm sorry, continue the hearing until March 13 at 1:30, that'd be appropriate.
Thank you. Then I'll step back one step to item 11B. The public hearing is open. Do I have a motion to move the continued public hearing to March 13th at 1:30?
So moved. Second.
Moved by Commissioner Buck, seconded by Commissioner Burney to continue the public hearing on Order 190226-05 on March 13th at 1:30. Discussion to the motion? I hear none. Then I'll call for the vote. Those in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Passes 3-0 with Commissioners Bozovich and Sorensen excused. Thank you very much, Ms. Jones.
Thank you. Sorry for interrupting.
Any time when it's when it's necessary. Thank you. Then we'll move along once again, Mr. Rickoff, to a review of assignments.
Chair Farr, Commissioners, first of all, with the passage of the board's direction to provide a voter's pamphlet, we will be returning with the appointments to an explanatory statement committee on March 12th. We have also from this morning items 7B, the fatal crash investigation team, has been moved to March 13th. The work session on ballot measure 102 with County Counsel Mike Coles and I believe Jacob Fox from Homes for Good. That too will be moved to March 13th. That's item 7C. And then your actions this afternoon with 11A. The fourth reading will be on March 13th. 11B will be the continued hearing set for a time certain on March 13th. And then finally, just a reminder that there is a meeting tomorrow at 9 a.m. And that we have set up a conference call should the inclement weather continue for those that need to join us by line.
Perfect. Any discussion to the review of assignments? I hear none, Mr. Rickoff. Thank you very much.
you.
We'll move along then with the, we have no call for executive session this afternoon. Any other business from the board or from staff?
Commissioner Farr?
Commissioner Buck, please.
It's Diana again.
Oh, hi, Diana. Sorry.
Hi. We did not get to items 8A and B in this morning's session, so we probably need to address those two items. That's Commissioner Business Announcements and Agenda Team Requests.
Excellent. Thank you. Then before adjournment, we will take a step backward to this morning's agenda, which is we'll move along to item 7 has all been moved forward. And then item 8, Commissioner Business. Commissioner Business, any announcements from the board? I hear none, and I have announcements, but I'll wait. Agenda team requests. I hear no agenda team requests, and we'll move along to post item 13. There's no call for executive session today. Ms. Jones, are we complete with this morning's agenda at this point?
Yes.
Thank you. Then, any other business from the board? I see and I hear none. Then, as Mr. Rakoff pointed out, we will we'll convene in regular session at 9 a.m. Tomorrow's agenda will include adjustments to the agenda and then executive session. We'll begin in regular session at 9 a.m., whether physically present or via phone link. We will return at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. We are adjourned.